Hello there, everybody. Today we're going to be doing class 51. Today we're going to be discussing poor managers from different sports.
I did soccer. The first photo on the previous slide is Ronald Koeman. He is a Barcelona legend and also a Netherlands national team legend. He played next to some big names like Messi, Neymar, Suarez, Dani Alves, Rakitic, Iniesta, Puyol, Alaba, Ter Stegen, Xavi Hernandez, Arthur Melo, Sergio Busquets, Johan Cruyff, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He then is coaching Barcelona, but had one of the worst times there. Due to quote-unquote bad handling with finances during COVID-19, he couldn't afford to pay for Messi's wage demands, even though Messi was already accepting a wage cut. So Messi left for PSG. They lost too many games and too many embarrassing games that he should have won in games that he lost by a lot. Like 3-0 to Benfica, 3-0 to Bayern Munich, 1-0 loss to Royal Vallecano, a loss in the El Clasico, lost the La Liga title, couldn't win the Champions League, has made them have a poor start this year, and eventually he just recently got sacked for the former legend Xavi Hernandez.
Um, okay, I'm Eric High, and I did poor in a different sense, as in he was poor before he um his career. So the man I'm talking about is Bob Myers. He's the NBA team Golden State Warriors general manager. He has been with the Golden State Warriors for 18 years, and he is very good at his job. He retained a lot of top talents for the players and extended contracts for many of them. He's one of the top agents in the NBA, actually. Some of the players he was agent for is like Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. He was also vice president of SFX Sports, which represented many NBA players, and he also spent his previous 5 years before joining the Warriors at WMG, Wasserman Media Group. This is the man.
Oh, no, that's a continue to my slide. Um, okay. The next one next to Ronald Koeman was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was a player of soccer and played for Man United, but then became a coach. He took over after the legendary era of Sir Alex Ferguson, won a lot of trophies, and coached big name players like Rio Ferdinand. He hasn't really won any big major trophies at his time at Old Trafford. Horrible losses like today, 4-1 to newly promoted Watford. Also, a 5-0 thrashing from Liverpool, a 2-0 loss in the arguably one of the most important games against their rivals Manchester City. So as of now, Manchester is blue. They also lost 4-0 to Leicester City and are in 7th place in the Premier League. Last year, he lost the Europa League as the favorites to Unai Emery's Villarreal FC on penalties. They drew so many times and lost this year in the Champions League so many times. They drew 1-1 to Everton and lost 1-0 against Aston Villa. They drew to Southampton 1-1. There's a new meme of Ole saying that Ole's at the wheel, at the wheel. Ole's at the wheel, at the wheel, and just repeats. And there's also a hashtag going around that is hashtag Ole out.
So poor managers in basketball. So John. So Chanley holds the distinction for being the only coach to threaten to kill another coach in a room full of cameras. Chanley received only one game suspension following that 1994 incident with John. And it wasn't the last time Chanley would resort to violence on people. In 2015, Chanley admitted to send in backup forward Nehemiah to commit fouls against St. Joseph because he was just purely unhappy. This resulted to John Bryant breaking his arms, and he was only like suspended for only one game. So, and yeah, that's what he looks like.
Poor managers in football. Vinny Serrato. Serrato served as the general manager of the Washington Redskins and is remembered as the worst manager in recent history. Instead of hiring new talent, Serrato chose to spend large amounts of money on established players who were often past their prime. And despite expensive players, the team was losing almost all of their games. He was fired after about 2 years, but was then rehired by the team's owner, Dan Snyder, for unknown reasons. Instead of taking responsibility for his mistakes, Serrato decided to criticize their coaches. Matt Millen. Millen was the president and CEO of the Detroit Lions from 2001 to 2008 and was one of the most hated people in football. He was uneducated on how to draft a team and made poor decisions that harmed the franchise. His poor direction also caused the team to lose almost all of their games. However, Millen was somehow slated as the second highest paid general manager in the football league.
Poor managers in the NBA. Elgin Baylor, he was the Clippers GM for 22 years. Under his 22 years, their record was 607 wins to 1,153 losses. And then in the draft, he passed up Scottie Pippen for Reggie Williams, passed up Kobe Bryant for Lorenzen Wright, passed up Dirk Nowitzki for Michael Olowokandi. Next slide. Scott Layden. He was the GM of the New York Knicks from 1999 to 2003, traded Patrick Ewing for past prime Glenn Rice, and then gave role players $100 million contracts. Next slide. Sam Presti, he is the current GM of OKC. Before 2013, the Oklahoma City Thunder had KD, Westbrook, and Harden. They made the 2012 finals and lost to Miami Heat 4-1. However, he wanted to keep Serge Ibaka, so therefore he traded one of the most unstoppable players in basketball, James Harden, for Jeremy Lamb and Kevin Martin, and then ultimately led to KD leaving OKC and Russell Westbrook getting traded to Houston for Chris Paul. And conclusion is, a great player does not always equate to a great manager, and usually a lot of bad GMs trade talent or prime for nothing, basically trading for garbage. And yeah.
Hi, my name is Jason Lim, and I'll be covering Joe Patero. So, who is Joe Panero? He was actually a well-respected coach within his majority of his career. However, he served the Pennsylvania State Nittany Lions. The team was a football team, and he was actually a well-respected coach for much of his career, as I've already mentioned. However, what brought his career into a downfall was that after 45 years of serving as the head coach for this team, a scandal was revealed for Jerry Sandusky, and Jerry Sandusky was revealed to have been in involvement with a child sex abuse scandal. What ended up occurring was that Jerry Sandusky was, of course, kicked from the team. However, it was later also revealed that Joe Panero was also I wouldn't say involved, but he knew about the scandal. However, he did nothing to stop or try to alert anybody about this Jerry Sandusky's actions, which ended up him basically getting kicked from the team. Next slide. After he refused to step down after the season for their football team was over, he refused such an offer, and so he was then fired on the spot and was kicked from the team then and there. The Pennsylvania State Board ruled that he demonstrated a, quote, failure of leadership, and of course soon later fired him. After 2 months of his leave from the team, he then had complications with lung cancer, which ended up him dying 2 months later. It was a extremely sad end to his career, as Joe Pinheiro was basically dead after 2 months of his leave from the team, which put a very dark spot onto his career, especially in the ending of it. However, he was generally a pretty decent coach in the beginning. However, he failed around after 45 years of him being head coach.